This episode of Section D with Hugo MacDonald was first broadcast on Tuesday the 2nd of July on Monocle 24. Section D is brought to you in association with Lexus. Hello and welcome to Section D, the weekly design hour here on Monocle 24 with me, Hugo MacDonald. Coming up on today's show, we head to Beirut to take the temperature at the Lebanese capital's second Design Week.
Beirut Design Week is something that we finally need to have in this city. There's so much design happening, so much creative talent. All over the world you hear about Lebanese designers going around in fashion and products and graphics and doing amazing things.
We begin this week's Section D in Beirut. While Lebanon has been making headlines for violence and sectarian clashes, its capital has been hosting the second annual Beirut Design Week. A chance for the country's design industry to come together and show a different side of an embattled country. It's been heralded as a great success. But how vibrant is the design scene in a country that currently lacks a proper government, let alone a fully functioning infrastructure? Ed Woodhouse talks to people on the ground to find out more.
One of the most common questions expats living in Beirut get asked is, do all the women there wear burqas? It's a question that will provoke a grin from most of those to whom it's put, because the truth is just about the exact opposite. Beirutis take the notion that life is a catwalk to a whole new level. Their devotion to style and fashion puts Paris to shame. And their eye for design is in evidence everywhere you look, from the city's chicly appointed bars to its many dizzyingly expensive furniture shops. It's clear that these are a people for whom style is central. But what of the local design culture? Is all this imported taste, or are there people on the ground setting the design agenda for the city? The fact that the city's second annual Beirut Design Week has seen people flying in from all over the world to take part hints at the answer. Design Week's co-founder Doreen Toutikian explains why they felt Beiruti design needed celebrating.
Well, we were just thinking that Beirut Design Week is something that we finally need to have in this city. There's so much design happening, so much creative talent. All over the world you hear about Lebanese designers going around in fashion and products and graphics and doing amazing things. And there really wasn't a platform to really showcase that in the country. So we thought, 2012 was the first time to do it, and now 2013 is the second one, and it's getting bigger and better.
Asking if the Lebanese government is involved prompts gales of laughter. It seems that the design industry is pretty overlooked by the powers that be in Lebanon.
I guess there still isn't really the awareness about what design is. I mean, you got this idea of these dinosaurs being in ministries and not really knowing about what's going on. And there's just, maybe it goes as far as classical art for them. So I think if we, year after year, start to educate, everybody around, I think soon enough they will also be interested, because they will see how beneficial this is to the country's economy. I mean, I've heard so many people just coming from abroad just for Beirut Design Week. So, they just should hear about this, right?
The idea that there is an industry generating both money and good news stories for Lebanon, whilst being wholly unappreciated by an obstructive government, is a theme that comes up in almost every conversation you have about Lebanese design.
I mean, this is our story. People in Lebanon, individuals try to do something with their lives, and basically the government doesn't help them. This is the story. We're always trying to do our best, and our politicians are trying to do their worst. Basically, if you want to summarize it, this is it.
Jewelry designer Zeineh took a break from the buzzing rooftop launch party for her latest collection of exquisitely handcrafted gold jewelry to explain why there is such a disproportionate number of successful designers here, despite the fact that it's a small city which often lives under such trying circumstances.
I think that Lebanese people have learned that they can only count on themselves. They cannot expect anything from anybody. So basically, you cannot really be a just employee, because you will not go very far. And so you can design, they are exposed to so many civilizations because of the war. They had to travel a lot, so they've seen a lot, and they've heard. They really have been exposed to many things. So it's normal that they will try to do something on their own, and this is why you have that many people doing nice things. We're confronted to ugly things, to what I call in French obscurantisme. It's like darkness. It's a dark side of a human being. So this is very hard because this is our resistance. It's a daily resistance to keep on doing something interesting, to not let go to hatred and bad feelings. We have no other solution but to try harder. But sometimes, believe me, sometimes I just feel like, oh my God, that's it, I stop. But I don't stop. This is the proof. You see, today I have a lot of people, I have a new collection, a lot of people are coming. We really live day by day.
It's a compelling idea that Beirut is so drawn to beauty and has such a vibrant design industry because it counterbalances the ugliness so often present in the country's politics and sectarian divides. But most importantly, Nada's work is bought all over the world, and like the majority of successful Beiruti designers, it's this that gives her her success. The vitality that the Beirut design industry enjoys comes from the recognition it has won outside the country. But what about those aforementioned glamorous domestic buyers? Are they supporting the industry? And if not, what does this mean for the future of Lebanese design? Ghassan Salameh is a product designer who focuses on furniture and lighting. His Design Week exhibition included a staggeringly inventive mechanical insect-like standing lamp, and it has seen him recognised as one of the great talents uncovered by the event. So what does someone up and coming think of the Beirut design industry?
In terms of product design and furniture design, most of the Lebanese people, they just, like the rich people who actually can pay to get their furniture, they import their furniture from famous designers abroad. Few of them they get from the Lebanese designers, but then again, there are a handful of designers. You know, you can count them. They are very known, and at some point it becomes a little bit limited because you don't really have a lot of choices. I mean, you have a lot of Lebanese designers, architects who are extremely successful abroad. When I was in Europe, I toured a lot of cities. I went to a lot of museums. And I started discovering Lebanese artists being exposed in museums in Europe, in major museums in Europe that I haven't even heard of in Lebanon. You know, and you can tell like how much Lebanese people can be successful abroad, but they cannot be here. And then you come here and you see that your government kind of works against you by bringing foreign architects or foreign designers to contract major projects, when you have the actual talent here and you have the possibility to work with people here.
The night before Design Week started, the country was again pushed closer to all-out sectarian violence, with the army battling followers of a hardline Sunni cleric. The interviews in this piece were conducted at glamorous parties, while a few dozen kilometres away there was open warfare on the streets of Lebanon's third city, Sidon. Lebanon's design industry is built on dichotomies just like this. It is successful globally, despite being for the large part overlooked at home. Design Week was such a huge hit that it's given the industry its proudest moment so far, yet at the same time the host nation is wandering back into chaos. And this is the great irony of the Lebanese design industry. It contains a huge amount of talented and successful people who are constantly striving to perfect form, while the country around it fails to function. For Monocle, in Beirut, this is Ed Woodhouse.